Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Astrovibes. I'm Krishna and this is going to be my first podcast. And today I have a very special guest with me. I have personally worked with him during my summer internship at NIT Rourkela last year. And so please welcome Mr. Bibhuprasad Mishra. I request you to introduce yourself briefly to my audience.
So, first of all, thank you, Krishna, for having me in your podcast. So, I'm Bibhuprasad Mishra from a beautiful small town, Nayagarh, from Odisha, and where I have done my education till BSc. Then, after that, I have my MSc degree in MNIT Jaipur. Now, I'm in my third year of PhD in National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. And the most important introduction of myself, why I'm here in this podcast. I'm a full-time astronomer. So, thank you.
Uh, that's such an amazing journey, like from Niagara to NIT Rourkela to PhD is such an inspiring story for us. So let's start from the very beginning. I'll ask you a few questions and you have to answer these questions. All right. So, first of all, why did you choose astrophysics as your career? Like, was it your childhood dream to do this, or just everything changed after your college or school?
Honestly, I have a soft corner for astronomy during my plus two level or your 12th level, as you in English medium is called the 12th level. So there is a series called Cosmos by Neil deGrasse Tyson from an American astrophysicist. So which
Mhm.
drives me crazy to fall in astronomy. But that time I wanted to be a doctor, but I failed to qualify the NEET exam. And then later I cleared that exam, CUCT, and then the GATE exam with All India rank of 221, and eventually come here to do PhD. But honestly, after failing in NEET, when I'm doing my BSc, I was one goal to have a doctor in my name, and that too in astronomy, because it was one of the most fascinating subject that drives me crazy. So I think it's starting from the beginning of my career. I mean, I wanted to be an astronomer rather than a doctor.
Mhm. Okay, that's really relatable. So, could you tell something about your PhD research? Like, what are you doing? Like, in simple language so that everyone can understand.
So as you know, an astronomer means the people who study about the astrological things, I mean the astronomical
Mhm.
things. So there are astrophysics, astronomy, and cosmology. If you study about the objects and their laws of motion, then astrophysics. And if you observe them and try to find the science of that objects, then it's an astronomy, mostly the observers. And if you study about the cosmos, then it's cosmology. So I'm basically doing my research on galactic evolution and the properties like stellar mass, age, metallicity, dust content, and basically how the galaxies are born and how they have eventually evolved. And my work is based on an ultraviolet imaging telescope, UVIT, which is India's first fully UV observed telescope. And
Mhm.
along with that, I have also do multi-wavelength observations like in HST, JWST, also that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm basically like doing the galaxies things.
Hmm, interesting. So, how does your typical day look like as a PhD scholar? Is it boring or interesting?
So say like PhD is not a full-time job like a 9 to 5 corporate job, and you do not do for your boss or some company, but rather PhD is a thing that you do for yourself. The
Yes.
more you work, the more you will grow.
Hmm.
So basically, we come to the lab around 9:30, then till we stay here for around 7 or 8 in the night, and in between 1 or 2 hours of lunch break. But no, that's not it. But we have to go home, and after dinner we'll have to work for late night around 1 or 2. Then again, you have to
Mhm.
come in the morning and work for. Even if you are not doing anything, we have to think the things that we are doing or we can do, like what can I do now or next, or how can we do it. So it's a 24/7 thing. I mean, you can
Hmm.
say like we're working for every time.
Hmm. And it's hectic but interesting at the same time. Okay,
Yes, I
as,
mean,
yeah. So as far as
if
I
you
know, you have
if you
okay.
if you work for yourself, it may
Hmm.
mostly interesting thing. If you do for
Yes.
others, then it times come when it feel like hectic. But if you're doing it like because you like it, so it must be interesting.
Hmm. Obviously. So, as far as I do, you have also visited Aayuka for your project, and it's just a dream for many aspiring astronomers. So, would you like to share some experience?
So I think a lot of knows that if you know astronomy, then you should know the IUCAA. And IUCAA is one of the top most India's institutes that fully dedicated to astronomy and astrophysics. And it
Mm-hmm.
has been part of India's first, it's fully, I mean, dedicated telescope AstroSat or the satellite AstroSat. And there are several telescopes like UVIT and some X-ray telescopes. And IUCAA has an important role in that collaboration. And I have visited Aayuka several times, I mean, two or three times. So it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting, beautiful campus and with big brains. There are a lot of scientists staying there, a lot of people coming to like for collaboration for staying there, and you interact with them. You share your idea, then they will tell their idea. You can have broaden your thinking, and you can do multiple things at the right, I mean, at a time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's great. I mean,
Hmm. Okay. So now coming to some of the top sites, like what is the biggest challenge you face as a researcher?
uh, the biggest challenge is like I would say, if you want to do something, you need that data available with you, or where can you get that data? Then, if the techniques you have to learn, either you have to learn for yourself, or or any other people that can teach you that learning. But mostly, you have to learn yourself, and in
Hmm.
PhD or after that, you have to learn for yourself. One of the biggest challenge I would say to keep motivated yourself, like to do the same thing again and again and failing again and again, and then come back with another idea that
Hmm.
okay, I can do with like that or like this. So and another challenge is like there are, don't have much friends left in your life. I mean, which is a good thing, being isolated for doing research. But sometimes you feel lonely or something. So that
Hmm.
is biggest challenge, I would say.
Hmm. Okay, maybe the people who are there in your lab are quite friendly. So why are you feeling lonely?
Yeah, I mean, the people here are really friendly. I mean, one of the like they are the family of mine.
Yes.
But the thing is, you can't uh, do all things with all people. You need
Hmm.
some people for something, then some people for something.
Hmm.
So that rather than the lab, you don't have much friends. Even if you have school time friends or something, but they have their work to do, and you have to your work to do. We may in yearly we hardly met once or twice. So I mean, it's tough, but fine. It's your you have
Hmm.
chosen the path, so you have to go
Hmm.
through it.
Okay. So astrophysics is not only about stargazing and also is it different from what usually people think of the field of astrophysics?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing when it comes to when you tell people that you are doing astronomy, and they
Hmm.
feels like the astrology.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yes.
so it's a misconception for the people that they doesn't. I mean, they don't know astronomy is completely different from astrology. And
Hmm.
another thing is if you tell astronomy and they I've seen the images from Google, Instagram, or something. They will feel like you will watch the stars, galaxies, or something with your naked eye through the telescope. I mean, in a balcony, you have a telescope, you can see the galaxy. It's not like the resolution is not that much great.
Hmm.
So different like it's not just the observation, but the data handling is the most important thing. I mean, you do the data processing, then handling, and it's like computer sector job. But I think if you see a image that the
Hmm.
space-based telescopes observe, so
Hmm.
there is a screen and there are small tiny points like objects and maybe in one image there are several thousands of galaxies or sources are there and you have to uh, find all their properties of each and object. Uh,
Hmm.
so it's quite tough, but I mean, it's not like uh, moving in the garden, but
Oh,
uh,
obviously. What
but
like
it's
computer
fun.
stuffs?
I mean,
Hmm.
it's fun.
Okay.
I mean,
Hmm. Okay, a lot of students who will watch this podcast are will be just undergrads like me. So, what is your advice to those who want to pursue their career in astrophysics?
for the undergraduate students, I would like to
Hmm?
say astronomy is not like other science that will directly affect to your life. I mean, it's not like experimental thing that you invent some material and it will help you growing some machine or factory or any storage devices. It's all about curiosity. I mean, astronomy is all about curiosity. How much curious about to know the world or the cosmos or the universe that will drive you to the astronomy. So, I mean, I'll say if you are curious enough, ask questions how, what, how, so you can pursue a PhD in astronomy. And I think not just to read about the astronomy books, but to watch several series or online courses. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
see or read whatever feels you good, not just astronomy, in any other field. But for the podcast, I mean, they want to uh, convey their career as astronomer. So mostly, I'll say just look at the stars and let them feel that you are passionate for them. Maybe the
Hmm.
moon will be the most important motivation for you to be an astronomer.
Okay. Are there any books, website, or YouTube channels that you personally want to recommend for the beginners?
Okay, so for the beginners, I mean, I'll say that before starting to the real astronomy books, you should
Mm-hmm.
read some, uh, say in childhood, we call it our encyclopedia, but there are some several books that are tiny books and there are fascinating the astronomical objects. I mean, there are
Mm-hmm.
some stories or something like that. You can read that. After that, there are several books like, I mean, the universe or the about, I think, don't go much depth into it, but try to find books that will tell you on shallow things. I mean, a little about it. Then you first fall in love with that. Then you can go with and some shows there are, as I mentioned, the Cosmos is one of the great show, and there
Mm-hmm.
are another show called How Universe Works. Okay, and there are, I think, YouTube channel. I mean, one of your channel you have started
Mm-hmm.
doing good things, and
Thank.
there are some uh, other channels. I mean, I don't remember now, but can find it. I mean, it's not difficult to find all the channels. I mean, there are some related to NASA. I think there is a Kabja. I mean,
Ayuka also has one of its YouTube series, I guess.
Yes, I mean, for lecture series, you can find anywhere. I mean, all the
Mhm.
top institutes have their lecture series. Okay, so you
Yes,
can
yes.
go. It is, I mean, for just interest or something, you can see anything. But if you
Mhm.
want to learn anything or gain some knowledge, then there are several technical YouTube channels and
Mhm.
knowledgeable YouTube channels.
Mhm.
And so I think you can find out yourself. I mean, I don't need to tell what to see or how to see.
So students often struggle with like choosing a right supervisor for them, or like to choose a correct research field for them. So how should one choose that right research field or a good supervisor to do PhD with or any internship or project with?
Yes, so I mean, the choosing the right research field is one of the important thing. I mean, in your life, as it will
Mm-hmm.
shape your future. And if you want to dedicate yourself uh, in that particular field, then you should go with that topic or right, research topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is a simple answer to that. Ask yourself a question: What can I do on myself forever, enjoying without getting bored or without regretting it? So that will be the research field. If I am happy doing this, then you should do that. If you maybe you can fail or something, but you won't regret after that. If you
Mm-hmm.
fail, you won't regret. And maybe you are not good at it, but if you have taken that as fun, then you will excel it. I mean, and choosing a supervisor is one of the vital role as well. So you can ask your seniors or in their institute how the supervisor is or what is it, or you
Mm-hmm.
can see his profile if you want to do some on some topic and he is doing on that thing, then you can approach him or her. So
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can't have all those things, just leave it on your luck. And uh, and my
Okay.
supervisor is also one of the best people
Hmm.
in my life. I think I'll be so grateful having him as my
Yes,
supervisor.
yes.
So
He's so nice.
yes.
Okay. So now it's time for a quick rapid fire round. So I'll ask you a few questions and you have to answer in just 1 to 2 words. Okay. So my first question to you is your favorite astrophysicist.
As I say, the Neil deGrasse Tyson, the American astrophysicist.
Great. A recent discovery of paper that blew out your mind.
In last year, 2024, the discovery of the farthest galaxy by JWST. I mean, after the 3 million years, which is quite
Mm-hmm.
impossible for a galaxy to be at that time, but it
Mm-hmm.
fascinates me. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Then, if not astrophysics, what would you be doing? If not astrophysics.
uh, I would say, I had to do PhD. I mean, after failing the NEET exam.
Mm-hmm.
So not astronomy, then I would have gone for some optics things.
Mm-hmm.
If not PhD and if not any educational field, then I would be like an actor or writer. I mean, I have
Mm-hmm.
some corner for literature as well. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
will say actor or writer.
Let me tell you, audience, he is such a very good writer. Like, he writes a lot of poems, and these are really fantastic. Okay. Uh, so, any weird habit you have developed as a researcher so far? Any weird
Word
habit?
habit, I'll say going to the theater alone, watching movie alone, or going to the hotel restaurant for lunch or dinner alone. I mean, it's one
Kind
of
of
the
solo
weirdest
date.
thing.
So, that's not
Yes,
weird, I guess.
I mean, solo date.
It's me time. Okay, so before we end, do you want to give any final message to the students who are curious about the universe or astrophysics?
Yeah, as an astronomer, it is my moral responsibility to aware the normal people, like
Yes.
why astronomy or something else. So
Mm.
astronomy is not just a part of science; it's the science. I mean, or
Yes.
I would say it's everything. I mean, the arts or commerce as well. So you see different patterns in the sky, different types of astronomical objects, which are beautiful, just
Mm.
like paintings or drawings. Okay. And
Mm.
it's the history as well. I mean, in history, we study about the history of our country or the world. I, I mean, astronomy is the history even before the Earth. And it's
Mm.
geography as well. I mean, not just the tropical logical regions of Earth, but also the how the environment in all the universe or the cosmos, it's the
Mm.
geography as well. And as a commerce, for the commerce students, there's mass the balance sheet, and in astronomy, the matter and energy balance each other.
Mm.
Like, I mean, it's one of the beautiful things, or the most basic physics, or the simplest physics, so it's the energy conservation.
Mm.
So I mean, I'll say like it's the earliest knowledge that was known to the mankind. Even before discovery of fire, people used to look up in the sky toward the sun or the moon for the light and the stars. So asking like, what are these and where are we or who are we?
Mm.
So I'll say like astronomy is the first science and it will be forever after the earth, after the mankind, it will be forever. So I'll say in astronomy is the best, I mean, I'll say.
That was very beautifully said. Like, I loved how you described astronomy as a combination of science, commerce, arts, everything. That is so poetic. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Vivavaya. And it was such a
Thank
pleasure
you.
being uh, recording this podcast with you. And to all of you who are watching this podcast, thank for coming and just supporting me. And if you have any question for Vivivaya, you can ask in the comment section. So see you in the next one. Thank you, Vivivaya, once again.
I mean, I'd like to say one thing. I mean,
Okay.
just to as normalize the share, subscribe, and forward it. And if you don't like, don't watch the podcast, but watch other videos of her. I mean, Krishna is doing great things, doing short videos on galaxies, and so you don't need to watch these podcasts, but rather watch all those videos. So thank you.